Pep Fernandez on the mic tonight. High school football under those Friday lights. Corona, Riverside, Redlands in the frame. You Kuiper, Murrieta, they all bring the game. From first whistle to the final score, every big play keeps you coming back for more. The stands are packed, the pride runs deep. Inland Empire never misses sleep. Wednesday night, 7:05, you know the whole town comes alive. Every drive, every tackle, every cheer, Pep got the hottest seat in here. The Inland Sports Show, the Inland Sports Show, number one, no doubt, let it show. The Inland Sports Show, the Inland Sports Show, Pep Fernandez runs the show. Riverside brings heat, Redlands grinding every fourth down beat. You Kuiper makes a stand, Murrieta stays tall. One heartbeat, we love it all. He breaks it down plain, he calls it true. Every team gets a spotlight view. If you want the pulse of the inland scene, Pep's got the place where the story's seen. Wednesday night, 7:05, you know the whole town comes alive. Every drive, every tackle, every cheer, Pep got the hottest seat in here. The Inland Sports Show, number one, no doubt, let it show. The Inland Sports Show, the Inland Sports Show, Pep Fernandez runs the show. Pep Fernandez runs the show. From the valley to the hills, every rival, every thrill. Hear the name and you already know. Pep Fernandez steals the show. Steals the show. Steals the show. Steals the show. Show. Pep Fernandez runs the show. The Inland Sports Show. The Inland Sports Show. Number one, no doubt, let it show. The Inland Sports Show. The Inland Sports Show. Pep Fernandez runs the show.
And what is going on, everybody? Welcome to the Inland Sports Show. We are live and amplified here on Wednesday night. We are going wall-to-wall high school football on this episode of the show because, yes, helmets and pads are out for some teams like the Beaumont Cougars. You know, not just the helmets and, it's full pads. It's a full send, full go for Beaumont right now because they are playing in week 00. They're going to play a week before everybody else as they will open up the season in Hawaii for a second time. They did this 2 years ago in 2024. So Jeff Steinberg and the Beaumont Cougars will do it again against Hilo coming up on August 13th. They will be the very first team from the Inland Empire to play a regular season football game. So they'll have 2 byes built into their schedule because they play in week 00. So we're going to talk to Coach Steinberg a little bit later in the show. Really cool. He's taking his team over to Hawaii again. In just a moment, we're going to hear from the Norco Cougars. trying to get back to the playoffs. We thought last year was going to be the year because they were really good, and we saw how the season ended. Unfortunately, had to forfeit a bunch of games, did not get into the playoffs, but they were good enough. And Coach Barledge, man, is doing such a great job out there that this could be the year. They could make a CIF run, all that sorts of stuff, but they're just trying to keep their nose down and just grind every single day. But they got a lot of talent on this Norco team. So we're going to check in with the Norco Cougars in a moment as well. And we've got Hillcrest. They came off a CIF Southern Section Division 10 championship last season, the first CIF title in school history. Can Travis Carter and the Trojans do it again? They've got some important guys coming back, like Reyes Ortiz and Nico Bernal. We're going to hear from both those guys. So we'll see if they can do it again. It's going to be tough to go back-to-back, but they were red hot during that playoff run. They were pretty good during the regular season, but absolutely dominant during that CIF playoff run a year ago. So we've got Coach Steinberg from Beaumont, the Hillcrest Trojans joining the show as well, but we're going to lead things off with the Norco Cougars. Again, last year, they were great on the field. They ended up having to forfeit a bunch of games at the end of the year. They did not get in the playoffs. And remember, Horsetown, USA, they have the inland area record for most consecutive seasons to make the playoffs. They made the playoffs 37 years in a row. They haven't made it for a couple seasons now. They're trying to get back into the playoffs, and they are awesome in a lot of different positions. But I like to call it the triplets, the big three, right? Your quarterback, your running back, and your receiver. Julian Medina, Blake Wong, Trevor Schneider is back at Norco. So they are loaded. They are very good, but they are also working really hard to make sure it's going to be a special year out there at Norco. So without further ado, the Norco Cougars right now on the Inland Sports Show. Inland Sports. All right, we got the Norco football team join us here on the Inland Sports Show as we get close to the 2026 high school football season. We got Coach Barledge and three of his top players, the big three, the triplets, I would say, for Norco High School. And Coach, first off, let me ask you, last year on the field, great year. You guys had a successful season winning football games. How can you maybe carry some of that into this year, knowing that on the field you guys were able to be competitive and put Norco, after a couple down seasons, get them back to Norco standards, I would say?
Well, the nice thing is since I've been here, this is the first time we have multiple returning players. We have 10 returning starters on offense, 10 returning starters on defense. Not only that, every stat returner returns, right? The leading receiver, the second leading receiver, the third leading receiver, the quarterback, the leading tackler, the second leading tackler, most of the secondary. So we're pretty excited about the position we're in.
Coach, when I look back at last year, I think it was like a 10-point game with Centennial, a 10-point game against Murrieta Valley. You guys were, hanging with some of the top teams in your league and in the entire, southern section. Like you said, with all these returning players, do you feel like, you guys were able to prove to a lot of people that you guys were going to be competitive with some really good opposition?
Yeah, I think so. One of the things we're trying to do is just be better. And so we can close out those games that we were close in last year.
All right, Coach, I call these guys the triplets because you're probably old enough. I'm definitely old enough to remember, like Troy Aikman, Emmett Smith, Michael Irvin, triplets. When you've got a great quarterback, a great running back, a great receiver, you're going to be tough to beat. You've got three of the best right there, Julian Medina, Trevor Schneider, Blake Wong. What can you say about those three guys, and would you put them up against any other triplets out there in the IE?
I think they're all really good football players, but, the thing that you're missing, and no disrespect for these guys, is I think we have one of the best tight ends coming back in the area. I think, but the second leading receiver we have is really good. We have multiple returning starters, but you are talking about a kid. What'd you rush for last year? 1,300 yards. So Trevor had 1,300 yards receiving. Blake had 1,500 yards rushing. Blake had 1,500 yards receiving with 20 touchdowns, and Julian had 3,100 yards with 38 touchdowns. So it's a lot of offensive production in one spot, and I think a lot of people are sleeping on the other guys that we have, so it's going to make these guys even more explosive.
All right, Coach, let me go to your guys right now. Trevor Schneider back at Norco High School, and Trevor, are you excited to put that Norco blue back on?
Of course. I've grown up here since I've been about 4 years old, so it's always good to rep the Norco blue.
So Trevor, I mean, when you were a freshman, they were pretty good, but now you come back as a junior, and all of a sudden it just feels like a different Norco team, like a team that's, destined for the playoffs, a team that's going to compete, hopefully, for a league championship. I know it's a big rivalry game, of course, with Centennial down the road, but do you feel like maybe as a junior now that the team, the vibes just kind of maybe feels different, the expectations feel different this time around?
Well, I feel like compared to freshman year to now, it's the expectation has always been the same. It's just more guys are now bought in versus what it was before. Like you have more guys with the program and not going against it. So it helps when it's as one and not a couple different groups going against it.
And Trevor, what do you think is the most important thing you guys have to do as a team to be successful this year?
Well, Norco's known for their brotherhood. So most teams do not have that brotherhood that Norco has. So as long as you keep that and keep the standard, I don't see why it can't be any team in the state.
All right, Trevor, let me go to you guys, Blake Wong and Julian Medina. And Julian, let me go to you first, man. When I think of Norco, I think of big offensive lines and running the football. But, man, you're a stud quarterback at Norco. So what does it mean to have a balanced offense and weapons like Trevor and Blake surrounding you? Do you feel like this offense is going to have a pretty special season this year?
Yes, sir. It definitely makes my job a little easier, These guys are really talented, and we got a really good offensive line, and we got a really good returners coming back, so my job is a little easier, and we're going to have a pretty good season this year.
What do you feel like you did well last year at the quarterback position that you hope translates, again this year, and maybe even take it to the next level and be even better? Like, what do you feel like you did last year well?
I felt like I was pretty good, setting the standard, setting the bar high. I mean, I had expectations for Blake, Jackson, Lee White, Teagan Nogus. We just stick together and we got a pretty good team.
And for you, Julian, what do you feel like the goals are for this team this year?
Man, I want to go big, man. We got to win that state championship, That's the main goal. Just sticking together, that brotherhood, that, like Trevor said, is the main thing. So, yes, sir.
All right, let me go to Blake as well. And Blake, man, you had a monster season last year. What do you have to do to be even better this year?
Just to stay consistent, like how I've been with my group, stay keeping that connection, because I'm not able to do the things that I do without my teammates, obviously. And that's the main thing, is that, and just keeping the standard high with everybody else and working hard.
And Blake, is it important for this team to get back to the playoffs? Like, obviously that's going to be one of your natural goals, right? Is to get back to the postseason. But is it important for this team to be like, hey, we're a playoff team, we deserve to be in the playoffs, and man, stack together some wins and make a CIF run this year?
Of course it is. I know my group, I know our group, and I know that we hate to lose in general. And I know that we want to, after the past few years that we haven't made it, we want it bad. And we're going to do whatever it takes to get that. And I know my group, and I know how motivated and how dedicated we are. And just after the past few years, we're coming after it.
And Blake, finally, how do you prepare when you go up against an opponent and you know that their best defensive back, they're going to put them on you, or you're going to be double teamed? How do you prepare knowing hey, a lot of attention's going to be paid on you, but you still have to go out there and make plays?
It's just having trust in my coaching staff. At the end of the day, I'm going to do what I'm told to do, and I have that trust in Coach Barledge and our receiver coach, that they have the game plan that's meant for just not just me but our group, and just keeping my mental strong and understanding that plays need to be made, and I'm going to make them.
All right, Coach Barledge, let me go back to you to round this out. We talked about getting back to the playoffs. Norco High School had I think it was an inland record of 37 consecutive seasons. Is it important for this team to get back to the playoffs this year?
Yes, it's been important every year, but we want to make sure we're as good as we can be. We know we want to make the playoffs. We know we were put in a higher division, and when I first got here, we didn't necessarily weren't dealt the best hand. So growing the program to where it's at right now, we're pretty excited about it. We've got a bunch of returning starters. We have 70-plus freshmen on the freshman team this year. So we really feel like we're in a good spot. But the best thing I think we've done is, remember when I took this job, the one thing I said to you is, how do you not take a job when you say we are? Everybody says, well, Norco, right?
Yes.
And so, but I think the thing that we've done, or we've been able to do the last 2 years, is really define that. So we broke it down into our beliefs, our values, and our style of play. So guys really know what we are. So when I say our beliefs,
Faith, integrity, self-respect, team.
And then I say our values.
Mental toughness, physical toughness, talent, responsibility.
And style of play.
That's our smart finish.
So we know who we are. So when things get hard and things get tough, we find a way to be successful.
I love it, Coach. I love it. Really appreciate your time. Thank you, Trevor, Blake, and Julian as well, man. Thank you, Coach Barlich, for always making time for me, and hopefully we can do this again soon. Hopefully I'll see you on the sideline soon as we get closer to the season.
Sounds good, Pep.
Appreciate it. That's the Norco High School football team here on the Inland Sports Show.
Inland Sports.
All right, the Norco Cougars in the house here on the Inland Sports Show. Again, a lot of teams in their shells. They got the helmets out, and the Beaumont Cougars, they're full go. They got full pads as they get ready for Hilo High School in Hawaii coming up. So high school football is here, man. We're going right straight into the season now with fall training camps. We say fall training camp. Maybe it's just a term that we use now because it's certainly not fall. It never felt like fall around here because it's always super hot this time of the year. But here we go into training camps to get ready for the season. Now, speaking of high school football, real quick, if you're a business or an organization and you'd like to help us share these awesome, positive sports stories here in the IE, hit us up. inlandsportshow@gmail.com. You can also just send us a message on social media if you hang out there. And specifically, we're thinking about bringing back the weekly Inland Sports All-Stars, where we pick like 4 or 5 players each week. We name them All-Stars, talk about the stats they put up, how they help their team. So if you're specifically interested in that, if you're a local business or organization, you want to partner on that, again, shoot us an email, inlandsportshow@gmail.com. Just specifically mention the Inland Sports All-Stars. All right, when we come back here on the show, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, though, we're going to talk with the Hillcrest Trojans. Head coach Travis Carter recently became a father for the first time. We'll check in with Coach, see how things are going at the Carter household right now. And 2 of his top players from last year, 2 of his top players going into this year as well, Nico Bernal and Reyes Ortiz. That's coming up here on the Inland Sports Show right after this.
The Inland Sports Show is brought to you by Ken Sporting Goods in Norco, #1 in the Inland Empire for team uniforms, sports equipment, and Letterman's jackets. Paulson Orthodontics in Redlands with Dr. Marcus Paulson. Personalized treatment you deserve from an orthodontist that you can trust. Planning your next magical family vacation? Concierge Tara can help. Visit her website, crazyimaginationtravel.com/Tara Fernandez. And Chick-fil-A in Yucaipa, right off the 10 freeway at Yucaipa Boulevard. Eat more chicken. The Inland Sports Show is proud to partner with Dr. Marcus Paulson and Paulson Orthodontics in Redlands. Dr. Paulson and his team work with children, teens, and adults using orthodontic products like traditional braces and Invisalign to make a difference in the appearance, comfort, and function of each patient's teeth. Paulson Orthodontics welcomes new patients, so schedule a visit today. Paulson Orthodontics. We make braces fun.
All right, welcome back to the Inland Sports Show. I'm your host, Pep Fernandez, here live and amplified on Wednesday night. We mentioned a lot of high school football on this show as we continue to preview teams and get ready for the 2026 campaign. Right now, we want to check in with the Hillcrest Trojans, bringing home their first CIF Southern Section Championship last year in Division 10. Can they do it again? Several key guys are back. You're about to hear from two of them, Nico Bernal and Reyes Ortiz, and head coach Travis Carter. Recently, a new father as well. Things are going very well for the Carter household. So we're going to talk about being a dad, winning CIF titles, and what it's going to take to do it again. You know, you're about to hear from the Trojans that last year was great. They want to do it again. In fact, maybe they want to go farther. Maybe they want to win a state championship. So maybe in some way there's still some unfinished business for Hillcrest High School. So let's check in with the Trojans right now on the Inland Sports Show. Inland Sports. All right, now join us here on the Inland Sports Show, coming off a CIF Southern Section Division 10 championship, the Hillcrest Trojans. And Coach, man, what a time for you and your family. You got a CIF title, and now, you and your wife with your first child as well. I mean, titles, children. I mean, it's pretty good right now in the Carter household, I would assume.
Yeah, absolutely. Not getting a lot of sleep, but we definitely had a good year last year, and even more so this year with, our baby girl coming in, and we're just getting excited for this next football season.
Well, Coach, when you look back at last year's CIF title run, what are some of the things that you feel like really stood out about that team that you're trying to maybe duplicate this year? Like, what do you feel like is the most important thing when you build a championship team or a championship culture? Like, what do you think is the most important thing that you guys have to do again this year?
Yeah, I think last year we showed tremendous kind of growth throughout the season. Obviously, beginning of the year, we kind of had our ups and downs. Even, our struggles, both in non-league, even in league, where maybe we weren't performing at our best, but we just continue to work, continue to grow. And really towards the end of the season, you saw the team kind of start to gel a little bit more, come closer together. And, in reality, we started to play better football because we were doing things better towards the end of the year than we were at the beginning. And mainly that happened at practice. We were having much more productive practices. Much more competitive practices. The kids were, they worked hard all year, but it kind of, all that hard work was coming to fruition towards the end there.
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned that, Coach. I mean, going back to last year, and we've talked about this before, something about, you guys were good during the regular season, but you got to the playoffs and just took it to this next level. I mean, you were scoring a lot of points. You were dominating games. I mean, how do you carry that momentum all through the offseason and go into 2026?
Yeah, I mean, that's the goal. I mean, we had, obviously last year we had a lot of success at the end of the year. And really it was a credit to the players we had. We had a lot of good players making a lot of good plays. Some of those guys are no longer with us. They graduated. We're lucky enough we got a lot of those guys coming back, including the two guys next to me here. So, obviously Reyes Ortiz, our running back, we're going to have next year. He had a huge year last year. A lot of yards, ran really, really hard. He's a big physical back. He was tough to bring down. More importantly, he takes care of the football. And then, we got Nico Bernal coming back. He, played both sides of the ball for us last year. Special teams as well. Had some big, kick return, punt return touchdowns for us. But kind of, the key moving from last year to this year is not to forget about last year, but not to just kind of rest on what happened last year. We got to understand it's a new year. We got to start from scratch. And, it's a new team. Even though some of those guys on this year's team were on last year's team, we got to go out there. We got to earn it every day. And we got to prove ourselves again because, there's going to be a target on our back this year.
Well, Coach, let me go to your guys right now as well. I'll start with Reyes Ortiz. And Reyes, when you look back at that championship season, I mean, what are some of the things that you feel like stood out about this team that, you guys are hoping to do again? Like, what do you feel like is the most important thing when you build a championship team?
Definitely starting with the run. Love getting my handoffs and love getting the credit to my offensive line. So a run game definitely takes pressure off the quarterback. Definitely brings guys down in the box, and it really allows our quarterback Alex Villasenor to step up. And all of our receivers stepping up this year. So it allows everyone to just produce big games and, have a defense trembling, whether they're sending the blitz or not.
So, Reyes, through the offseason, coming off the CIF championship, did it make you hungrier to get back into this season? Like, hey, look, can we do it again? Can we go back to back? Did it kind of give you extra motivation going into this upcoming year?
Yeah, definitely. I went to a few camps this year, and it barely occurred to me that, I was one of the top guys. And, it made me want to prove myself that, hey, I belong to be here. I'm definitely top 10 in my opinion. And just being able to prove it to everyone this year is my biggest thing.
Going back into this season, coming off the CIF championship, do you feel like the expectations are maybe a little bit different compared to maybe last year? You were the only team in the IE that won a CIF championship last year. Do you feel like people are going to give you their best game when they play Hillcrest?
Well, we always got to be at the highest level. We never walk into a game thinking, okay, we're just going to stroll through this game. Never walk into a game, okay, we're going to bring our all. Every game, we got to compete at the highest level. It's definitely a bar now. Obviously, you get off a championship, you want to go back to back. And it kind of left a bad taste in our mouth, losing in semis and state. So, obviously, our goal is to get back to that place, and get it all this year.
All right, Nico, let me ask you too. Coming off such a successful season, what are the vibes around the team right now in terms of, going in as a CIF champion now into this season and what it's going to take to maybe do it again?
Definitely starts at practice. Like, you just need to work your hardest at practice, and it's easier in games. That's what coaches always teach us to do. Like, make warm-ups hard, so when you're in the game and everything, like, it's just easier for us to do. And I feel like our defense is young, but they're like scrappy, so they'll definitely be able to be up there with us too, and just kind of like ride that wave of last year and try to compete and do better than we did last year.
So, Nico, Coach mentioned that he's expecting to basically play you every position on the field. We saw Matt Ramos do a lot of things for Hillcrest, obviously, last year. You played a lot of different positions. Are you one of those guys that just wants to be on the field helping the team any way you can?
Yeah, no, definitely. Being on the field is like amazing to me. Like, defense, offense, special teams don't matter to me. Just as long as I'm on that field playing with my guys, that's all that matters.
And Nico, Coach kind of talked about it already, but as players, how much do you guys talk about last season's CIF championship, and how much is it you just try to have a clean slate and just focus, on this year's team and this year's schedule?
It definitely gets brought up a lot, and like just trying like how Reyes said, like going back to back. That's always like kind of what you want after you win one, and just trying to like go game by game. This is how like we were last year, just doing game by game no matter what.
And Nico, what do you think is the most important thing you guys have to do as a team to be in the hunt maybe for a CIF championship again this season?
I think definitely starting early, because last year I feel like first quarter, second quarter, like we'll be iffy, but then like third, fourth, that's when like we like bring our game. I think it's starting off early and like bring everything like first to 4 quarters.
All right, good stuff, Nico. Let me go back to Coach to wrap this up. And Coach, again, I want to go back to the fatherhood thing just for a moment. Is it going to be pretty exciting knowing that, your wife and your daughter will be at the games with you? And I don't know if it gives you extra motivation to go out there and, enjoy coaching football and doing what you love and having your family there alongside you?
Yeah, it's definitely, given me a different perspective on a lot of things. You see things from a different lens. And you just want to continue to go out there and be someone that continues to work hard and does what they can to not only help these kids here on campus, but also be a good father and do the best you can at home as well. So it's gonna obviously a big adjustment. Like I said, we're extremely excited. We're happy, but yeah, it'll be fun. I'll have her. She's gonna make an appearance at a couple games on the sideline. She'll probably be asleep, but we're ready for this season. These kids, including these 2 guys here, they've been working extremely hard the entire off season. And it's another challenge that last year gets brought up a lot, and they earn that they get praised for that, and we got to celebrate and all that stuff. But like, they both kind of mentioned, we got to take it day by day. This is a new team, it's got to be, one practice at a time, and just continue with the growth mindset that we got to get better. We can't rest on what we did last year, and We got to go out and attack each day this year, so we can get back to that place.
Well, Coach, again, congrats on last season, but that was last season. I know you guys are fired up and getting ready for 2026. I really appreciate your time. Head coach Travis Carter, Nico Bernal, Reyes Ortiz from the Hillcrest football team. Appreciate your time, guys. Good luck this season.
Hey, thank you, Pat. Appreciate all you do, man. You're the man. Thank you.
Inland Sports.
Good stuff from the Hillcrest Trojans. All right, we're going to take another quick commercial break here on the Inland Sports Show tonight. When we come back, it's going to be Beaumont High School head coach Jeff Steinberg. It is a full send. All systems go right now for Beaumont. Full pads as they get ready for a week 00 game on the road in Hawaii against Hilo High School. So we're going to check in with Coach at Beaumont High School practice next on the Inland Sports Show after this.
The Inland Sports Show is brought to you by Ken Sporting Goods in Norco, #1 in the Inland Empire for team uniforms, sports equipment, and letterman's jackets. Paulson Orthodontics in Redlands with Dr. Marcus Paulson. Personalized treatment you deserve from an orthodontist that you can trust. Planning your next magical family vacation? Concierge Tara can help. Visit her website, crazyimagination.travel.com/Tara Fernandez. And Chick-fil-A in Yucaipa, right off the 10 freeway at Yucaipa Boulevard. Eat more chicken.
Hey guys, this is Jason at Ken Sporting Goods. We're almost to 1,000 Instagram followers. Tell your friends, like us, come down and see us. Thank you so much for your loyalty.
Sports.
Is that during the World Cup, we saw all these NFL stadiums with the natural grass fields, and I would love to see that, man. I'm old school. I want to see dirt and mud stuck in the helmets, the grass stains. I want to see all of it. Well, from a health perspective, the players want it too because it's safer than hitting that hard turf when you're getting tackled. So a lot of players are still being outspoken about bringing natural grass back to these stadiums. It can be done. Of course, it comes down to money, but it can be done, Patrick.
The second they saw that World Cup grass, the NFL players immediately were like that younger child that didn't get the candy bar that the older child got, and we're like, what is going on? Oh, you can have grass in these stadiums. This could be a shift eventually. I could see them building future stadiums a lot like Vegas, a lot like Arizona, where they roll the grass outside, even if it does happen to be an indoor facility, and then roll it back in. That could be they could be way ahead of their time.
Yeah, and they should, man. I think football needs to be on natural grass, but there's a lot of layers to this. I didn't even think about this. These NFL stadiums, they host a lot of things, including like big-time rock concerts. Yeah. So you bring in a rock concert, but you can't have it on natural grass, obviously. You got to have some sort of a artificial turf or flooring or something like that. So there's a lot of things to consider when they build these stadiums and how it's going to look. But I'll go back to a conversation we had during the World Cup. I remember 1994, back in the World Cup, when Detroit had a natural grass field for Team USA. And I was like, wait, hold on. Wait, that's where the Lions play. In fact, I think it was the Silver Dome at the time. I think I called it Ford Field. But the Silver Dome was turf, but they had natural grass for the World Cup. So what is that? 30 years ago they were doing it, but they've phased out the natural grass. There's a lot of financial benefits, I would say, for an NFL team not to have natural grass, but the players want it, and I think football should be played on real grass.
I think there's a solution here if you just kind of reverse what they're doing here. They had the fake turf, and then they had like a subflooring over the top of it that they put real turf on. I think the answer might be right there. Put the real turf down, and then when they have an event, have that subflooring over the top.
Patrick, can we hire you for the NFL? Can you be a consultant to the NFL? You just broke it down in 10 seconds. That's not that hard.
Somebody's got to make these decisions, Pat. It's us.
Kamish, I got Patrick on the line from Patrick in the Morning. You might have heard of him.
Got a solution, Kamish.
People are still breaking down this whole LeBron James to the Philadelphia 76ers deal. 2 years, only $8 million, man, which in the world of the NBA, that's not a lot of money. 2 years, $8 million. Of course, he's chasing a ring. He might not have said it directly, but he's chasing a ring. He's trying to get one more championship ring. He's got 4 of them. But at least on my bingo card, the Sixers weren't very high in terms of possible destinations, but here we are.
I think a lot of people thought he was going to hang around the West Coast. The Warriors were real hot, right, because of the daughter, and they thought that the daughter was going to make the decision for the whole family because she's all established here. Well, apparently that private jet can fly anywhere, right? And so he thinks the best spot is going to be Philly. And then from Philly's side of it, how can you blame them, dude? That's what they get LeBron for? Genius move by them.
Yeah, super cheap. He's going to sell a lot of tickets. And, of course, when you brought in Jaylen Brown, all of a sudden you got a lot better and you're a serious contender in the East. And now you add LeBron. And again, he said he's not chasing rings, but that's his best chance to win another ring. Now, I still don't feel like Philadelphia is the favorite to win an NBA title, maybe in the top 5, top 10 at least. But I don't feel like there's some, juggernaut that everyone's going to have to find a way to beat the 76ers. They're good. I just don't know if they're elite.
Inland Sports.
All right, hanging out with my boy Patrick in the morning on KCAL 96.7 FM every Monday and Thursday morning talking sports. So make sure you look for that on the old radio dial and also streaming online, KCAL 96.7 FM. Okay, more high school football. The very first team in the IE in our Inland Sports Show coverage area to play a real game will be the Beaumont Cougars. They're playing out of state. They're going to play Hilo High School in Hawaii. and that'll be a week 00 game. So when you look at their schedule, they will have 2 byes in there. I think Coach Steinberg said weeks 1 and week number 5. So they're going to start early. It's going to be a long season, but it's going to be a lot of fun. What a great experience for the Cougs going to Hawaii to play an out-of-state opponent. So let's take you out to Beaumont High School football practice and catch up with Cougars head coach Jeff Steinberg talking about going to Hawaii to open up the season in just about 2 weeks. Here we go.
Inland Sports.
And now join us here on the Inland Sports Show as we take you out to Beaumont High School football practice. Who's this good-looking guy? That's Jeff Steinberg, the head coach of the Cougars. And, Coach, I can tell in the background we got helmets, we got pads. I mean, you guys are full go right now because you have a game in, I think it's called week 00. Does that sound right?
Week 00, that's right.
Well, aloha and welcome to the season because you guys will open up in Hawaii for a second time since you've been with Beaumont. How did this kind of come together?
So, after doing the trip, we done 2 trips here where we went to Utah the first time and then we went to Honolulu in 2024. And we're trying to do a trip every 2 to 3 years. So this was another year to consider. And I've got a good friend who's in Hilo. And he's now an athletic director. He was the head football coach at one time at one of the Kamehamehas. And we've been good friends for a long time, and we've always talked about maybe at some point getting together and playing a game. And so I put it in his head, and Coach Lyon said, "Let's do it." And so they're going to fly in from the Big Island to Oahu to play us on a Thursday night.
Okay, so it's like a neutral site game for them, too. I mean, I don't know geographically Hawaii that well, but they're going to be coming in. Still a home game for them, though.
Yes,
but still.
yeah.
Well, Coach, tell me, logistically, how far out do you have to plan for something like this? I mean, is this like a year in the making to make this happen?
Not quite a year, but, the boys did know that it would be a year to consider traveling out of state. And then we got the ball rolling after our season, end of November, beginning of December. So this has been in the makes, and kids have done a great job of coming through and taking care of business with payments and fundraising, and it's just aside from the game, there's a lot of great things planned on the trip. They're going to get to go to a luau. One of my favorite parts of the trip is the Pearl Harbor experience too. So, and you've got to understand that most kids probably haven't been there. A lot of kids, it could be the first time flying. So it's always fun to be part of that.
That's such an awesome experience. I know, of course, Herm Edwards said you famously said you play to win the game, but man, the journey too, right? I mean, you're grooming young men and all these new experiences for them. Like, how cool is that, Coach?
For sure, it's really cool, and I just think like even logistically, being able to we'll land on a Wednesday, we'll do a walkthrough on the Wednesday, and then on Thursday we're playing. So we're going to be in game mode Thursday morning. We're going to get them off their feet, take them to a movie on Thursday. We'll play the game Thursday night, and then we'll be able to go and have fun Friday and Saturday before we leave on Sunday. So I really like that approach. I've seen teams that play their game on the Friday or Saturday, and that's kind of a long time to keep kids focused and for coaches to stay focused too. So I think it's great.
I'm a work first, play later kind of guy. So
Exactly.
Put in that work on Thursday night first.
Yeah.
Well, Coach, X's and O's wise, I mean, how's the team looking right now? I know we're about 2 weeks away from that game. I mean, here we go, like a real football now.
The season's coming up pretty quick.
Yeah,
pretty
what do you
quick.
think of your team so far?
They work hard. We're somewhat inexperienced with starting varsity, but we've got quite a few seniors in the program. So I like the leadership. It's just game experience is lacking, but after 2 quick weeks into the season, we won't be lacking that experience. So I think our team's going to show a lot of development over the course of the season. We've got great kids that have just been waiting for their turn, and now it's their time to shine.
Yeah, and speaking of time to shine, I mean, that non-league schedule, you always schedule great opponents. I mean, it's I don't want to say brutal because you're going to stack up with these guys. You always go head-to-head with some really good teams out there. Do you like your non-league schedule, and how will that prepare you for CBL and CIF and all that?
It just prepares you, like to play the San Jacintos, coach. They're deep.
That's a rivalry,
year.
yeah.
It's a huge rivalry. They're deep every year, if not going to the CIF championship. Summit. Okay, they do a great job. Chaminade now on the schedule, which last year was, I don't know how we pulled that off after giving up a kick return for a touchdown 12 seconds into the game, and then finishing off our non-league with Vista Marietta and Coach Candell. He's just done such an incredible job building that program to what they are today.
All right, Coach, finally, what's the one thing you have to have on a road trip? If you're going to Hawaii, I mean, throw out the cell phone doesn't count. Everyone's got a cell phone, right? But is there something like, I don't know, nail clippers or something that you're like, I have to pack it. I cannot leave home without it.
You have to have some sort of Tommy Bahama or Hawaiian shirt to wear when you go to the luau.
Okay. Fair enough, right? Win in Hawaii, right? So,
yeah.
Coach, I always love catching up with you. I know you're a very busy man. You're the first IE team to play a game this season, again, as you will play in Hawaii against Hilo. Coach Jeff Steinberg from the Beaumont Cougars here on the Inland Sports Show. Thank you so much, Coach, and good luck in just about 2 weeks.
Thanks, Pep. Appreciate all you guys do for high school sports. Thank you.
You got it.
Inland Sports.
Yeah, so 2 weeks from tomorrow, if you're watching us live and amplified on Wednesday night, 2 weeks from tomorrow, Beaumont will kick off the season in week 00. And then most other teams, not everybody, will be playing in week 0 the following week. So here we go, right into the high school football season. And yes, we'll have more details on our coverage here for high school football for the Inland Sports Show. Riverside TV, the Friday Night Pep Rally, IMG, all that stuff. We'll share that with you very, very soon on what our coverage is going to look like for this upcoming season. Again, a big thanks to our guest, Beaumont head coach Jeff Steinberg, the Hillcrest Trojans, the Norco Cougars, all joining us tonight on the show. Really appreciate, love talking high school football. And a big thanks to our awesome sponsors, Paulson Orthodontics in Redlands, Ken Sporting Goods in Norco, Chick-fil-A in Yucaipa, and Concierge Terra Travel. Really appreciate your support, allowing us to share these awesome, positive sports stories here in the IE and our Inland Sports Show coverage area. My name is Pep Fernandez. God bless you guys. Stay safe out there, and we'll see you next time on your favorite show, the Inland Sports Show. Good night.